we should be live. Hello everyone, welcome back. Up next we have Darq showing off some TAS he's made.
Aren't you still in the prep room?
Oh, let's move. Yeah, we are live. So say hello.
Hello, I'm Darq.
So yeah, you can go ahead and tell us what you're going to do, and then let me know on time.
Alright, today I'm going to be showing off my casual playthroughs of a couple fan games. I'm really good though, so I might first try a couple things. We'll see. You know, I don't know for sure. I found this avoidance. It's really cool. I'm going to try this one out. Let's see what happens. You can start time whenever you're ready, Pat. And, oh, did you start time? I can't see the stream, just the chat.
Have you started?
Yes.
Okay, started.
Okay. Yeah, I was right. This avoidance is pretty easy, actually. I wonder why they even provide you with 4 platforms. I don't really need them. This attempt is going pretty well. I want to dedicate this to my boy, Casual Crap. I'm going to throw some insane dodges in here just for him. Here they go. I know you guys might think this is fake because I don't have my keyboard noises in, but that's just because it's a really quiet keyboard. Don't let me fool you. You know, I've seen some other people play this game. My strats are a little bit different than theirs, though. Also, obligatory sour please. Alright, I think we got off to a good start. Hope you guys enjoyed my casual playthrough of I Want to Buy the Buy. So here's how things are going to go. I'm going to try and look at chat as much as possible and answer any questions that you guys might have about tassing or about the specific tasks I'm going to show off. However, I do also have to commentate what I'm showing off. So I might miss your questions. Feel free to hit me up on Discord or Twitch, wherever, if you have any questions about TASs, though. Alright, this next one is a cute little adventure game. Let me just set it up real quick. Also, now, I did see your comment that I used all 4 platforms. We don't talk about that, though. We just don't talk about it. Alright, let's start the next casual playthrough. How easy is it to TAS games? Well, once you get started and know what you're doing, it's much easier than you think. The problem is, the first time you try and TAS, you're probably not going to know what any settings in the software mean. You're not going to know how to set up the settings to accommodate Fangames. But once you do get started, I've been TASing for well over a year now, so it's pretty easy for me to pick up a game that's compatible and just start TASing. What's the hard part is making sure it's optimized, because in games like Fangames, where jump height matters a lot in determining jumps, as you can see in this section, you want things to usually be frame perfect. Wookie, never. This game is called I Wanna Be the Adapt. The software used to TAS Fangames is called Hourglass. You can literally Google search Hourglass TAS software, and it should be the first result. The latest version is what everyone uses, R81. Can you control RNG with TAS? So, how most RNG works in Fangames is it's determined by the frame that whatever is being controlled by the RNG starts. So when you look at something like an avoidance, like by the by, like we just showed off, if I were to enter that fight on the second possible frame instead of the first one, the entire fight would be different, but it would be the same every time. I do not have a guide. I don't know if I could write one. I guess it wouldn't be too hard. Most fan games would follow the same formula. But there is no guide as of right now to TAS fan games. That's a good question, Teen Trunks. I'm currently on Windows 10. Hourglass is designed to work with any Windows OS. The problem is, the later the version you use, the more problems you're going to run into. It gets buggier and crashes more frequently the later version you're on. That's why most people choose to use Windows XP or a virtual machine or compatibility mode on Windows 7. But it will work with any Windows OS. Is there any trouble one-framing or jump canceling? So you can choose to run the game at any multiple of 50 FPS for a fan game, but if you go at 50 FPS, you cannot one-frame. The lowest you can do is 2 frames, because on the first frame it will register that you're pressing jump, and then on the next frame it will register that you're releasing, which is 2 frames. Mouse is not supported. Streamer, is this speedrun? This is, yes, speedrun. My personal favorite task that I've done, it would probably be See the Barrage, a game by Lily. It's a standstill avoidance, a marijuana they're called, not to be confused with marijuana. It was designed to have the player stand still in the center of the floor the whole time, but instead I dodge every attack on the sides. I am not playing right now. This is all pre-recorded. I set up the inputs. Okay, let's talk about how a TAS works for those of you who don't know. TAS, T-A-S, stands for Tool Assisted Super Play or Tool Assisted Speedrun. And how it works is you stop the game entirely and advance it one frame at a time. And on every single frame, you get to control what inputs go into the game, within reason. So what I did was I stopped this game, advanced it on every single frame, and input every single left, right, and jump and shoot movement in the game. Okay, so that's the end of that little fun avoidance. Not avoidance, adventure game. Let's see. I believe there's only one left to show you guys. It's considerably longer than those two. Unless, I mean, I can show off the See the Barrage at the end, if you guys are interested. It is on my YouTube channel, though. Quick sellout. It's the same as my Twitch name. Let me see. Okay. So this one is also an adventure game. And it's actually set up more like Mega Man. I have to explain a couple things right at the beginning, so let me see if there's any questions real quick. Okay, run the marathon task. Good point. Studio games, games made on GameMaker Studio, are not supported in Hourglass. The only ones that are supported are those made in GameMaker 8.x. I'm not exactly sure why, but I think the reason is how the save system is set up, because you can't externally access studio saves. Yes, there is a Renegade's Fruit TAS as well. It's unlisted right now. Oh, quick sellout. If you go to... I'll get the link at the end. A community member, Zorgo, actually has a playlist of all Fangame TASs that we currently know of. So let's start up on this one. And I'm going to try and explain a couple things right at the beginning for this. No, it's not K2. Get out of here. K2's not an adventure game. Okay, so the first thing you might notice is I picked the medium difficulty. What the difficulty changes in this game is the amount of health that you have. Now, health isn't commonly used in Fangames. Normally it's one hit and then you die. In this game, if you choose hard mode, that's what it is. One hit, you die. Medium mode, you get 3 health, and easy mode, you get 5 health. We're doing medium because there are a couple, and by a couple I mean a lot, of damage boosts that we'll be using to go much faster than if we only had 1 health. So you just saw me take an intentional hit to show off that we have health. How the health works is that every time you touch a save point, your health is restored to whatever the max value is for that difficulty, as you can see right there. Mayonnaise is an adventure game, yes. You don't know what this game is? This game is called I Wanna Use the 8 Weapons, and then 2 exclamation points. Like I said, it's set up like a Mega Man game. So you'll see me going to the levels in a specific order to get the abilities from the bosses that will help me in the other levels. Because unlike in Mega Man, well, I guess they do help in the levels in Mega Man, but the powers in this game are not for the bosses, they're for the platforming. So most of the time you'll see when I hit a save, I immediately reset because it moves the kid over about 8 pixels, which doesn't really make a difference in normal playthrough, but this is a task, so we want to save the frames. The game is being run in real time, so if there is a problem, we're gonna try and fix it. It's not pre-recorded. It's being live streamed. I'm just not playing. So one thing you might see here is that the kid is moving faster than normal. This game has momentum in it, but only in certain areas. We're going to abuse it in a later stage to a great degree. It's ice physics, which may not surprise you. The bosses are just optimized to be killed as fast as possible. They're not that interesting, so when I see a boss, I'll probably try and answer some questions from chat. You might see that the game pauses every so often. It should only happen in the first 5 or so minutes. What I'm doing by doing that is setting flags to say that I've already read how to use every item in the game. Normally, when you pick up an item after you kill a boss, it pauses the game and shows you how to use it, and shows you a quick picture of what it is. But we pause, I think, 4 times, and that sets the flag for all 8 items. Now, I don't know for sure. What I meant when I said that was that Hourglass can't access the saves, not that the player can't personally access the saves. Double invert loses time, Sammy. Oh, I can't explain what weapons I get. So the first thing I got from that boss was the ability to walk upside down on the ceiling. We get that first because we use it in every single stage, and as you saw just now, it helps you skip a big chunk of this stage, not having to wait for those slow balloons. You can see here using the walking upside down ability to skip that balloon section. So the final room of each stage, much like in Genki, has no music. It's to indicate that there's a boss coming up. I'm not really sure why, but it seems to be a common fan game trope. So because we have health, you can see I'm intentionally taking damage on that attack so that I can get an extra shot in. You do that twice, and you get a quick cycle on him, as you'll see. K3 cannot... Well, okay. Because K3 uses Fmod, it's incredibly difficult to get it to run on Hourglass. So the version the version number doesn't really affect that. It's the fact that it uses Fmod. How long did this task take to make? Good question. Let me think about that. I've been working on it for probably 2 months or so, but it wasn't every single day. It's a much shorter game. Most of you have probably seen the K3 TAS, and you know it took Widget just about a year, 6 months to make the TAS itself, and 6 months for the sound file. This is a much shorter game, plus I didn't have to make my own sound file, I just used the game's. But I want to say probably around 2 months. Mouse input. What do you mean by that, Sammy? So most of these rooms that we're going through are going to be cycle-based, even though you'll see me intentionally taking damage on some of them. That's why it's much easier to reset at the beginning of most rooms anyway, even if I didn't have to restore my health, which we will see. Yes, the Hourglass does not support mouse movement. Widget put that in himself, and I'm not going to go into detail about how he did it. If you want to know, you can ask him, but I don't think he'll tell you. Yes, I'm blindfolded right now, actually. Oh, okay, Sammy, gotcha. This room is really fun. You literally just hold right and fall. Great design. Blindfolded and reading chat. Yep, that's me. I'm just that good. Emic, can you not hear me or the game audio? Oh, the keyboard. So another thing about TASs is that since you can use save states, which means that you can save the game, go ahead, and then immediately go back whenever you want, I already know anything RNG related in the run. So if an enemy moves a certain direction, I already know that they're going to be there and can go there before they get there. So the power I just got from this enemy was the ability to clone the kid, which will come in handy in this stage, actually. That's why we do it before this one. To skip an entire screen, basically, that was meant to be a puzzle screen. On a scale of 1 to Rue Aw, how much do I like being bunned? I'm going to have to go with a Rue Sip on this one. Yes, so when you TAS a game, every single time you start your TAS, you should be deleting your save file and your death time file. Otherwise, it has a strong chance to desync based on the in-game time. So every time you start and stop, you don't want to delete that, and then you start over from the beginning, yeah. So those cannonballs hold down the buttons. It was faster to just put a clone kid on that first one and come back. I know it may not seem like it, but it was. You're supposed to use those cannonballs now right here in a puzzle. I just drop a clone kid on the button and walk to the boss. So, Lightning, if you wanted to start from the final boss, the only way you could go about it was to have a save file on hand, and every time you wanted to TAS, you would copy that save file into your folder, and then start the TAS, but that's not reliable, so I wouldn't recommend it. How do you choose the games to TAS? I usually just pick games that look fun to TAS. Some people like to TAS hard games. It's really up to preference. And then you have to decide if it works or not, obviously. So what I just got from that boss, I think I just fought a boss, was every time I use that electric shield, it either destroys or reflects projectiles. This is the stage where we abuse the momentum. There are a lot of parts of this game, however, that are basically just waiting. This is just running up and around. I don't know why the door is in the middle of the screen instead of at the top or at the bottom. This boss is weak to our fire sword, so it's a really quick kill. So what I got from that boss was the ability to shoot ice. It's a really annoying sound, I know. It gets more annoying later, don't worry. Like right now. You wouldn't be able to TAS co-op probably because of the engine it's in. It's not a game maker game like most fan games. Also, it uses an online server, and I don't think that... Excuse me. I don't think that Hourglass could reach the server consistently enough. Maybe a volume warning coming up in a couple seconds here. So, every box in the game has a random chance to spawn a star, which gives you invincibility for, I don't remember how long. So it just lets you run through things, basically. So you can see I'm using that electric shield instead of the button sometimes, because it's faster. Instead of having to do that whole puzzle, I can just walk on the ceiling and then use my shield. So you can see, in this stage in particular, there are a lot of things I wouldn't be able to do if I only had 1 health. That's why the TAS is made on medium. However, the easy mode is way too easy, and you can walk through just about every single screen without even saving. So that's why I didn't choose that. So you'll notice that I put the clone kit up top there. The bomb aimers, as well as some of the enemies, consider the clone kid to be a real kid, so it will aim at him instead of me, which is how I was able to get an extra bomb to hit those top blocks. Yeah, you can't play co-op offline with another person, like it wouldn't work. So you would always have to be connected to the server, and I'm not sure that Hourglass could actually reach the server consistently. So if you reset in this room, there's actually a wall of blocks in the way that you'd have to blow up, so we choose not to reset instead. And as you can see, I got bombs from that boss. Pretty self-explanatory. So this stage is a maze, and if you did it first, you'd have to go through essentially 90% of the screens. We go through maybe 50. Because we have basically all the power-ups, and the 2 power-ups we're missing, one from this stage and one from the next stage, don't help us anyway. What did I do to walk on the ceiling? When I beat the first boss, we actually got a power-up that lets us do that. This room likes to desync, so let's all pray that that doesn't happen. And we got it, thank goodness. How long did all the different possible Okay, so I actually have played this game in real time many times before. It's actually a lot of fun to play in real time. So I already knew going into the TAS what the best possible routing was. I just had to edit it for frame perfect inputs and stuff like that. If you do not want to walk on this, well, in the final stage, I believe you have to, because it makes you collect. You have to collect all the power-ups to get to the final stage. Alright, this is the worst stage in the game. It was zero fun to TAS, and it's also zero fun to play. You also skip most of it, as you can see, which is a good thing, if you ask me. It's actually a lot of fun. I say that because some fan game TASes are of games that would not be fun to play in real time. I guess I also forgot to mention that this is a trap game as well. But it's a really old game, so the traps are, as you can imagine, unoriginal and mostly flying spikes. And fake blocks, I forgot about that. If you see me going out of the way intentionally where you think I could have gone instead, there's probably either fake blocks or a spike trap that I don't want to trigger and lose health on. This boss is weak to the power-up we just got, which I didn't explain. It's a charge shot that shoots spikes. Yes, I did take damage on the corner. No, it was not intentional, I just didn't notice it. Okay, so this is the final platforming stage, but you'll see what I mean when I say that once we finish it. This is really hard on your first playthrough. There's a lot of new enemies, there's a lot of cycle-based stuff. And as you know, you probably don't have much health. Those enemies in particular, these jumping fruit, will give you hell if you ever play this game in real time. I see some cones. Luckily, I can pause the game. Just let me know when it comes back up. Is it back? Okay. I'll unpause the game then. one of the benefits of a TAS is that I can stop it and restart it whenever I feel like. So this stage tries to bring together a lot of the gimmicks that you saw in the earlier stages. Most of them are just annoying, but some of them are used pretty cleverly. The famous 5-block jump. There it is. We got it though. Those buttons on the bottom, as you can see, raise the spikes, so you can't touch them until you're at the end. This room is supposed to be a puzzle, but when you know what you're doing, it's really easy. You have to press a certain amount of buttons to get through that door with bombs and the clone kid. So there are fake chests in this game. There's also a gold system. I'm not sure why. Alright, so in natural Mega Man fashion, here's the boss rush. It's more of what you saw before, just in different arenas. It's not very well designed, but it is a Mega Man clone, so it's obligatory. So, because I know where the enemy's gonna be, I can just stay on the left there. Easy bosses. This is the only real difference for any of the boss fights. Those target blocks attract your homing spikes because he's weak to them, so you have to be really close to him when you aim at him, otherwise they'll hit the blocks instead. Again, this is a quick kill because she's weak to the sword. This boss is stupid and can change gravity whenever it feels like it, and no matter what I did, it just kept changing gravity. Again, I know where he's gonna be, so I go there and I hit him. Alright, and that's boss rush done. Here's the guy we saw at the beginning. He's the final boss. Those slots are for the 100% items. I've never beaten the game 100% because I don't know where they are. This boss is actually designed really well. He shoots out 2 cards. Whatever the cards you pick are is what the attack he will shoot out next. You can manipulate it to a certain extent to what you'll get, but it really doesn't matter if you're a TAS. So that's GG, right? We beat him. But wait. There he is again. So we're not done with him. So what we're going to do is, we're going to beat him together. So give me just 1 second. we're also going to hope this works. Just bear with me while I get back to the final boss. TAS is so fast, it walks at 17 pixels per frame. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, let's try that again, this time without the sound. Sorry, so there's some settings in Hourglass you have to change when you're going to TAS a game. One of them is the threading of the game. It's much more likely to desync if you have the sound on while you're TASing the game. I don't know why, or I would tell you guys, or I would just keep it on and hope for the best. But I really don't know how to fix it, so we just do it without the sound on. And then if your game is at 50 frames per second, like this one is, we just play it back with the audio on. Oh, heck, Skull, don't do that. The sound is the best part. Yeah, this game is pretty old. I'm not sure exactly when, but that's why the graphics and the restarting music are not that great. It doesn't look terrible, though, in my opinion. It's just that it's old, I think. Imagine their sound. So we're about halfway through, and that only took like, what, 1 minute? So that's not too bad. And what we're gonna do is the last fight in the game, so it's not like I'm gonna debate you guys again. This section isn't any more interesting at 200 FPS. Go figure. How do I get this fast reaction time? Years of practice. I've been playing Fangames for probably like 26 years now, so my reaction time is just insane. No, that's the joke, Reds, is that Fangames haven't been out for 26 years. No, okay. There seems to be some confusion. This isn't chat does TAS. I don't know how to work that. However, if someone figures out how to do it, I'll gladly set it up for next year. Because I think that would be great to see you guys try and TAS a fan game. The Earth is only 7 years. Zorgo, I see you're in chat. Would you mind grabbing the link to your TAS fan game playlist for me? Oh, I know. Oh, man. Okay, so final boss is here. So, thank you, Zorga. I appreciate that. I saw a question in here. I don't remember what it was. Oh, whatever. Anyway, so how this works in a slowed down version is you'll see I can control the kid movement 1 frame at a time. I can control when he shoots. I can control when he uses items. Unfortunately, there is an item chain of power, I guess. I don't know what else to call it. In that you can't use your abilities at the same time. I'm not really sure why. Let me see if I can get this playing. So it's not completely mute in here. Okay. I hope that music is playing. So as you can see, the boss has a lot more health than me, and it hurts me whenever I touch it, as you can see by the flashing kid. But because I have a save state, I can just go back to before I got hurt, and then oh, cursor on screen, get out of here, I don't care. Also, one thing I forgot to mention is that this game has a bunch of text boxes that we skip over. Come on. Or I'm trying to skip over them. I may have just soft locked, actually. That's not good. Well, that's not supposed to happen. I can't skip it. There's a text box from the boss that comes up, and you should be able to skip it, and it's not letting me, even though I just skipped it. So that's a soft lock. I guess I did debate you guys. I wanted to do this with you guys, and now it doesn't work. I don't want to make you guys sit through all of that again. So let me just stop that. Rip that TAS. That TAS will be up on YouTube shortly after the marathon, though. So if you're really interested in the final boss, you can watch it on your own. Sorry again for that. That really sucks. We're going to keep going. So somebody mentioned earlier what my favorite game to TAS was. Let me make sure I still have it. Yep, I have it. Okay. So we're going to show that off real quick. You guys will like this too. It's really cool if you haven't seen it before, which I'm assuming most of you have not. Stand still, avoidance test. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, here we go. This is I Want to See the Barrage, made by Lily. It's muted, I think. Okay, should have fixed it. Well, I don't even know what that emote is, and I don't like it. Volume warning, maybe? Thank you, MQ. I appreciate that. So like I said, you're supposed to stand still. We don't do that on this stream. One thing to note about this avoidance in particular, the attacks are not all pattern. some of them are based off of the kid's position, and that's why they don't hit you if you're in the center. You're about to see one of those. This attack, those blue bullets are aimed based on the player position, not just to avoid the center. Another fun fact about why this is my favorite TAS I've made is that I'm assuming most of you guys are familiar with V-strings in Fangames. There are some dodges in this avoidance that are V-string dependent. They come at the end. This is Desty. Well, to be fair, this is seeded, so it might be Desty. I love you, Desty. Oh, okay, V-strings. V-strings are the string of your vertical movement, so depending on how high you jump and how fast you're moving, you'll be on a different position on each frame than if you did a 5 frame as opposed to a 6 frame, you'll have a different V-string. This is a fun attack, by the way, Lily. I like this. Can you short cancel on a TAS? You can if you're running it at like 150 FPS, which I'm not. Pat, are you still here?
Hey.
How am I doing on time? Do you know?
We are at 53 minutes.
Perfect. Let me see if I still have that TAS Lemon wanted me to show off. Okay, so that game was made by Lily. You probably saw him in chat. Please give him some love. He is adorable. This one was made by Lemon, who's also adorable, and you can give him some love too. And sit back and enjoy, because this one's pretty funny to watch. Right side gravity changing. Right side strats are wrong strats, but what about these? before best part of TAS. I think you're supposed to stay in that circle, but I don't like that, so I didn't. Funny you mentioned that, Sammy. There actually is a Chaos Time TAS. I don't remember who made it. Maybe it was Lord Timey. There you go. Oh, it was Ryu? Okay. Thank you for playing. Alright, so that about wraps it up for me, guys. Sorry about that soft lock. I don't know why it happened because you saw me go past it. But I hope you guys enjoyed the tasks I showed off. If you did, I'm sure I'll be back next year. Pat, you want to take it away?
Thanks, Darq. That was a really, really cool segment.
Glad you enjoyed it.
All right, so up next we have Nemaga showing off some many multiplayer races of his up-and-coming fan game, which will be on Steam, called I Want to Be the Cat. So we are going to go ahead and start preparing that now, so stay tuned. I also want to quickly apologize for the stream going down briefly during that period. It was just some technical issue. So yeah, stick around for I Want to Be the Cat after the break.